All righty. Well, thanks for logging in on time. So we'll start with our Pilates breath. So again, feel free to modify the movements at any time. This is going to be a 50-minute Pilates class. And I'm not really going to take any breaks, but feel free to stop and take water breaks at any time. We're going to start with, like I said, our breath, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth, sort of through pursed lips. You should hear yourself exhaling. Inhale and exhale. As you breathe, if you want to sort of involve your body, you can inhale, lengthen the body through the top of the head. And as you exhale, you can draw the abdominals in and kind of create a nice little C curve, more spine flexion, if you will. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And let's take one more breath in the seated position. And on this next exhale, as we round the spine, draw the abs in. We're going to slowly roll down. Good. Coming into our neutral spine, neutral pelvis position. So just a small space under the lower back. We're going to inhale through the nose. You're going to feel your chest rise. And exhale, feel your abdominal sink down into an imprint. So your tailbone will come off the mats. Inhale back into neutral. Exhale, imprint. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, imprint. And one more time, neutral, tailbone to the floor. And exhale, imprint. Hold on to that imprint. Bring that front leg up to tabletop and then the back leg. Actually, it doesn't matter what order. And we have 90-degree knees and parallel shins to the floor. Maintaining the 90-degree knee bend, exhale, lower. Gently tap the floor, inhale, return. Exhale, lower. Inhale, return. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep going at your own pace. Continuing to exhale and inhale. And then if you'd like, and it doesn't feel too much strain to the lower back, lower both at the same time. Feeling how your body reacts to the lowering. So if you feel your lower back come off the mat or any strain in the lower back, you can stop halfway down and then return back to tabletop. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Last time here. In general, I'm going to try to keep the head and neck aligned with the spine, so we're staring up at the ceiling. So you can just glance over at me when you need to, and then try to align your spine again. Go ahead and put your feet on the floor, hip distance apart. You can slide your feet a little closer to the butt if you like. We're rolling up into our hip bridge. Starting from neutral with the tailbone on the floor, exhale. Push through the feet, squeeze the butt, and slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Focusing on the articulation of the spine. Inhale at the top, and exhale, slowly roll down. Again, one vertebra at a time. Finishing with your tailbone on the floor. I'm going to direct my eye gaze back to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly lift. Inhale. At the top, we're looking for that strong, straight neutral. Exhale, slowly roll back down. Let's do 2 more times. At your own pace with your breath, inhale. Exhale to squeeze the glutes. You want to feel pressure through the entire foot, but definitely through the heel. Inhale at the top, exhale. Inch by inch, we lower, keeping the glutes engaged until the tailbone hits the floor. And finally, last one. Reach those knees away from the shoulders. And then finally, rolling down. Ab prep, nod the chin. Exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Eye gaze on the knees to protect the neck. Inhale, hold, exhale, lower. Because we're flexing our spine, we're gonna tuck the chin lightly to keep the head and neck in the same sort of curvature of our spine. As you crunch up using your abdominals to pull the ribs toward the hips, fingertips are actively gonna reach, but without elevating the shoulders. Inhale, exhale, lower. Now we're gonna try some variations of this crunch or prep work. So I'm gonna take my front hand, I'm gonna put it behind my head to support, and as I reach, it's my back arm and my front leg is gonna straighten out. Good, return. Exhale, reach, front leg, back arm. And then again, the front arm is just supporting the neck gently. Inhale, return. 2 more times, exhale, reach. If you want, you can reach out with the heel. Return. Opposite limbs are straight here. Let's try the other side. I'm gonna put my back, the hand that's further from you, behind my head. This is my front arm. And I'm gonna reach my back leg straight as I exhale. Maintain that imprint. Inhale, return. Exhale, reach. So we're still doing the basic motion of a crunch. And if you want to keep both legs bent, you can. You don't need to straighten the opposite leg. And if you want to have both arms supporting the neck, you may too. Oh, I think I lost count. I just want to do 4 on each side. So I think this is the 4th one here. So I'm not rotating. I'm lifting both shoulder blades up equal height. All right, now we're going to go into hundreds. So you can keep your legs on the ground, lift them to tabletop, straight leg, or on the diagonal. Go ahead and pick your leg position, knowing that you can change positions at any point. Nod the chin, reach the arms, and start to pump. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10, inhale. And exhale. 20, inhale. And exhale. 30, inhale. Exhale. 40, inhale. Exhale. 50, inhale. Exhale. 60, inhale. Exhale. 70, inhale. Exhale. 80, almost there. Keep reaching those fingertips. We're at 90 and last 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Flip over onto your stomach. Go ahead and support our first spine extension of the day. At least it's mine. With our forearms. Inhaling, we gently press into the forearms, lifting the chest, the top of the rib cage, and again, gently tucking the chin to keep the head and neck aligned with the spine. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. Think length through the top of the head, away from the toes. Exhale to lower. Keep going at your own pace. It is never about speed. Think about technique. Okay. Now, if you would like to try the unsupported version, you can take those hands down by the hips. I'm still keeping the tops of the feet on the mat, but I'm taking away that arm assistance. Inhale, lift, squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other here. Exhale, lower down. I'm staring pretty much straight into the mat this entire time, just to keep my head and neck aligned with my spine. Let's do one more after this. That's basically kind of undoes or does the opposite of what we do when we do our ab crunch or ab prep. Go ahead and sit back and stretch. Let's set up our plank. We're going to do some planks today. So let's just do our first sort of warm-up plank on the elbows. Elbows are directly underneath the shoulders. Reach one heel to the back of the room, tuck those toes under, and then the other. If your butt's a little high, that's okay to start. Kind of ask yourself, how do your abs feel? If you don't quite feel your abs, go ahead and lower those hips until they're about the same height as the shoulders. Usually around there is when you start to feel your abdominals. Draw the abdominals in, squeeze them nice and tight. Gently press into those forearms. Keep your breath going. Inhale and exhale. And let's not forget about our glutes and our quadriceps. So squeeze that entire midsection. All the muscles of the core, muscles that attach to the spine and the pelvis are going to be engaged right here. One final breath in and out. Good. Go ahead and release your leg and come to your seated position. I don't have my AC on because I was like, it's great, it's raining out there, but I am getting hot. Whew. Okay. So we're gonna do our half roll back. Gonna add a little bit of variety today into our basic half roll back, but here is the basic. Arm reach forward, round the spine, draw the abdomen as you roll halfway back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale again. Keep those shoulders down away from the ears. Inhale. Up. We're going to add some rotation. Feel free to stick with this basic half roll back. I'm going to open up the arms as I go back, which is going to add a little bit more challenge. But you can decide how far back you want the arms to go. And then what you can do from there is rotate and then place the arm down. All right, so this takes away some of the work when you place the arm down. But then you want to reach just for a little stretch. Come back down to your half roll back and lift. So I'm going to show that to the other side. So I'm going to rotate first, it's creating challenge. And then just when I think that I'm pretty much going to collapse, I'm going to put my hand down, support it, and then stretch. I'm going to try to keep my tailbone on the floor and get that length in one side as I rotate and reach. Come back to center. You're in your half roll back position. And then come forward. Open up, exhale, rotate, inhale, reach. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, sit up. Good. Exhale, we're going, again, halfway back. I'm rotating all in that exhale. Place the hand down, inhale, stretch. Right here, as you lift the arm up and you're still in that half roll back position, you are going to feel a lot more abdominal work. Let's try one more time on each side. There is a little bit of choreography here. Exhale, feel your abs, really draw it into the spine. Rotate, keeping those arms wide. Put that hand down that's closest to the floor. Reach the other one arm up. If your spine allows it, you can sort of lift the chest a little bit more, a little bit out of flexion. But then you want to come back into flexion before you come to center. Last time to the second side here, rotate. Again, this will depend on your flexibility, so in your pelvis and your spine. And then back to center. Now we're going to go all the way down for the full roll up. So often we keep your knees bent here. And I'm going to continue with the articulation. So inhale, reach the ceiling, reach the arms to the ceiling, nod the chin, lift the shoulder blades. And if you get stuck, you're going to straighten those legs out, shoot them forward. At the same time, a little bit of momentum there. And then as we're driving our heels out, and we dive toward our feet, this is our hamstring stretch. Good. Coming back. If you want to keep your legs straight, you may, or you can slowly pull them back into that knee bent position So you can shoot the legs forward again. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale, straighten those legs, activate those quadriceps. Now, if your legs are gonna stay straight, now arms can go high for the roll down, for more challenge, or stay low, your choice. Now, if your legs are gonna stay straight, keep those quadriceps active the whole time. So even as I'm rolling up here, my quads are already engaged. Exhale, really anchoring my legs for that dive forward. Inhale, I choose a position for my arms, and I exhale, roll down. So 3 more times. Inhale. You can either do the bent knee version or the straight leg version. Try to make the motion like this nice flow with your breath. So last time, inhale, exhale, smoothly transitioning. Inhale and exhale. Good, hugging the knees in, or single leg stretch. Head, neck, and shoulders can be up or down. We stretch out one leg on the exhale, inhale to switch, exhale. Reach the legs to any diagonal you'd like. It can be more vertical toward the ceiling or lower towards the floor. We're going to try to maintain that imprint and continue to breathe. Exhale, inhale, exhale. You can flex the feet like so, or you can point the toes like so. Aim for an active foot, and the head, neck, and shoulders can go down on the mat at any time. Now let's take the hands behind the head, hold, continue the legs, and now you can add rotation, crisscross or bicycle. Keeping both shoulder blades off the floor as much as you can, rotating towards the bent knee, just slight rotation. Oftentimes people rotate too much and then they start dropping their shoulder blades to the floor. You want to keep both shoulder blades nice and high, just a slight tilt of those shoulder blades. 4, 3, 2, 1, straight into the double leg stretch. Exhale, reach, inhale. Arms will reach no further than the ears, and legs can reach, again, any diagonal. So if I decide I'm going to put my head, neck, and shoulders down, my arms can reach a little further back because my ears are lower. So you can decide if your head, neck, and shoulders are off the ground or on. Okay, we're going to add some variations here. Again, place the head down if you need. Just the front 2 limbs, just the back 2 limbs. Just the front 2 limbs. Exhale, inhale. Back limbs. Exhale, inhale. Front limbs are the ones closer to the screen, but it doesn't matter as long as you're alternating. This is the same side of the body. Last pair. Good. Going into scissors. Straighten those legs. Grab one of the legs. Slowly lower the other. Inhale to switch. Exhale, stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I think I need to go turn on my AC because I am dying of heat here. Switch it to a double pulse. Pulse, 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 pulse. It's split, split further. Split, split further. 2 short exhales. Try your best to keep your legs as straight as possible. Last pair. Last one. All right. Flip over onto your stomach. I'm just going to quickly pop the AC on right here. Oh. Hopefully it won't be too noisy. So we're back onto the front. Get the forearms on the ground. And I want to focus on the legs a little bit right now. So my feet are, I'm going to say, actually the width of the mat. So I'm going to get my feet pretty wide. And I'm gonna take my front leg, I'm gonna bring it across to my back leg, and then switch. So it's like a step touch. You go out, and you go in. Oh, my AC's not broken. It's not turning on. Okay. So we tap and tap. But it's not just like we tap. I want you to squeeze your legs nice and straight so you're really engaging the glutes and the quadricep. And it's a very deliberate lift, move, lift, return. Lift as high as you can. Squeeze the legs together, lift, return. Okay, just keep alternating the breath. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. All right, let's leave the legs alone for a moment and focus on the arms. As I lift and press into the back arm, I'm going to reach the front arm. Good. And then I'm going to come down. And then as I inhale, I'm pressing into the forearm and the front arm, and I'm reaching the back arm. Fully lifting my chest as high as I can, just as I did before in the warm-up, right? Front arm, lift, and back arm. Front arm. And let's see if we can put this together. I'm going to lift the front arm and the front leg. I'm going to hold the arm still as the leg taps over. So what you're going to feel is a little bit of a side stretch here. Return the leg and return the arm. I didn't really do that in a coordinated fashion, but what we're going to try to do is lift the arm, move the leg over, and as I start to pull the elbow back, the leg returns. Feel free to go slowly. Oh, I don't know what's going on with my microphone and my new laptop. Can you guys hear me? Nancy? Okay. All right, so let's just do this 2 more times on each side. It's basically inhale, reach and tap over. Feel that side bend stretch. Exhale, return. Inhale, reach and tap over. Exhale, return. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. Push yourself up and stretch. And your laptop just like microphone decides it just doesn't want to work suddenly. Luckily, it informs me and tells me it stopped working, but then I have to like unjoin and rejoin. Gotta figure this out. All right, we're onto our backs again. Oh no, sorry. I want to stay in a plank position. Hope you guys didn't move as quickly as I did. All right, so we're on our wrists this time. And I would say there's a few wrist sensitivities to be on your plank on your elbow, but you probably won't be able to do what I'm doing because this particular plank motion has to do with being on the wrist. And again, I don't mean to leave anyone out, but these are just varieties of planks. So here is the basic high plank. The wrist is directly underneath the shoulders. So we really want to focus on where the shoulder is in relation to the wrist. I'm going to pull my butt back, keep my spine in neutral. I'm bending my knees because, quite frankly, my hamstrings are so tight. My spine won't stay neutral if I don't bend my knees. But also, I kind of want to create like a bounce. So I'm going to push back, and then I'm going to sort of spring forward and lock myself into the strong plank. Push back, use those shoulders, exhale. Inhale the prep, exhale. Now, this feels like a pretty good challenge for you, maintaining that spine, locking it into that straight body position. Stay right here. If you want, add a knee right there. So as I come into my plank with my shoulders over the wrist, I lift the knee up. I am maintaining neutral, so I'm not rounding the spine. Return. Lock into place with a plank neutral spine. Squeeze the butt of the leg that's remaining on the ground. That inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. I'd say feet are about hip distance apart. Good. One more of each, and we're going to return to another variation of this later, but I want to give our wrist a little break. So come on down and shake it out. Now we can come to our rest. We are on our hip bridge position. Once again, we're going to use our mats. So I know Julie saw this the other day. Once again, we're going to be on our mats and use our hip distance to mat width. So I wouldn't go wider than the mat. The footwork is alternating legs, front leg and then the back leg. Then we come to hip distance apart. Show it like this, out, wide, in. Then the other leg, out, and in. So try to alternate the lead leg if you can remember. But we got to do this with our butt in the air. So here is our hip bridge, which you recall from the warm up. So let's find that position and move as slowly as you need to so that you're not disturbing your pelvis. If I'm moving my front leg, all the work goes into my back glutes, stabilize. And now all the work needs to go into my front glute to stabilize before I move my back leg wider. Use your arms. Don't be afraid to press into the floor. Now my front leg and my back leg goes back to hip distance. Now back leg, out, front leg, out, back leg, in, front leg, in. Front leg moves first. Don't worry too much if you do the same lead leg the whole time. The challenge here is about the glutes and the abs and maintaining that steady hip position. All right, so there shouldn't be a lot of motion like this. See how my butt is just kind of dropping here? So that basically means I'm not engaging my midsection at all. Keep alternating the breath. I prefer taking like an inhale for 2 steps and exhale for 2 steps. But this would depend on how fast you're going. So there is no set breathing for this other than breathe. The main focus is not about the footwork necessarily, but about the hip stability. All right, let's do 4 more steps. Give your butt a little break, come on down. While you're in the down position, let me show you from this angle. I want you to take your feet wide to the mats, wider than hip distance a little bit, and then knock your knees together. And normally we don't do things in internal rotation, but every once in a while it's good to try some exercises with our with the knees in internal rotation and externals. This is internal, and then external with the feet together, maybe a little bit apart, but not next to it. And then this is external where the knees face outward. All right, so let's do internal first. Squeeze the butt up and down. And I mean, really squeeze those knees together. This is going to be a shoulder or hip bridge that feels different because you're internally rotating. Good. Couple more. Everything else is the same except your knees are pressing towards each other and your feet are wider than your knees. Now let's do the opposite. So bring your feet a little closer than hip distance. You may want to experiment here because the thing is if your feet are right next to each other, it gets a little bit hard to push up and it gets a little hard to balance too. So having a little width is helpful. As long as your knees are wider than your feet, you're in external rotation. So I am now in externally rotated hip bridge. I'm not pushing higher than normal though. I'm still aiming for that neutral. I don't know which is better. This one? Okay. So then try a combination of the two. Here, this is kind of tricky because you pretty much want to put your feet back to hip distance. all right, so that you can go both ways. So as you squeeze your knees in, feet are hip distance, you come up, and then you take your knees out and come down. Squeeze knees in, come up, knees out, come down. In and lift, out and down. Last time in this direction. Keep it open, go up. So as long as your feet are hip distance apart, your knees will either go wider than your feet or they're coming together, which is closer than your feet. Out to lift, in to lower, out to lift. And it's okay if you're on the outer edge of your feet when you externally rotate. It's okay if the flatness, the soles of your feet come off there. Last time. Okay, all right, we're done there. All right, I'd like to do some side stuff. That's not the official term, side stuff. But first, let's set up into our side plank. So the elbow is underneath the shoulders, and I'm gonna do it with my bottom knee bent. My top arm, I like to keep it lifted. It reminds me to stay lifted out of my shoulders, so I'm not like sunken into my shoulders. And then here we have our oblique work to find that straight spine. All right, go ahead and do a couple of lifts and lowers with the breath. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. Dry throat. All right, now, if you can stay lifted and it doesn't bother your bottom knee, or you can roll up the mat for extra cushioning, we're gonna play around with this top leg. At any point, you can come down here and do the same movement. Okay, so we're gonna do a side kick in, out, like your foot's parallel and you're gonna shut the door that's right there with your foot. So I'm gonna do it in a lifted position, but again, feel free to come down to the mat with your hip. Inhale, in, exhale, press out, no higher than the hip. Let's do it 8 times, so we got 6 more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're looking for a lot of stability here. There's no movement in the body other than that leg that's moving. So let's do the hip bridges, the side planks first. All right, exhale, lift, inhale, lower. You pretty much want to come to neutral, but it's okay if you go a little higher in a side plank. In my opinion, it just works the obliques a little more. It's not like the regular plank where you're facing down that if your butt's too high, you take away the work of the abs. But here, when your hips are a little too high, you just do a little more oblique work. That's kind of the difference there. Couple more. Now stay lifted unless you want your hips down. Pull that knee in and push. I'm keeping my foot parallel to the floor, kneecaps and toes facing forward. Strong through the shoulder, obliques. Give me 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going back to the first side, all right? And the reason why I'm alternating is because it's a lot for that knee and it can be a lot for the shoulders. Now the difference this time is we're gonna kick forward, and usually I say do not pike, right? Piking is like, if I was lying there, piking is this. And normally I say don't do it, but I actually want you to pike because the motion is gonna be about counterbalance. You're gonna pike forward, and then you're gonna reach the arm back like this. And so as you're actually intentionally gonna arch. So you're gonna intentionally round, intentionally arch, and it's about maintaining the hip lift. You can't see it when I'm this way, but this is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna reach forward and pike, and then reach back. And it's a counterbalance because I push my hips forward, but keep the abs tight. And I swing the leg back. Counterbalance. The whole time though, this outer hip down here, obliques are working. Exhale forward, inhale, open up. Exhale forward. And yes, you are piking, but you don't have to excessively pike. Just pike enough. Enough to counterbalance and get that leg forward, get the arm forward. Give me 3 more. Again, the stability of the work of the hip and obliques on the bottom side of your body. That's the challenge. Last one here. And you are going to feel some of the outer thigh of the top leg, right? Because you're keeping it at hip heights. All right, hopefully we didn't lose our balance there. So same thing. Let's first set this up, and then I'm going to reach my arm forward, and then back. Exhale. Inhale there. Sorry. Exhale here. Inhale. Kind of a hamstring curl, but bend only as needed so you stay balanced. If you bend too much and your arm doesn't go back enough, you might fall on your butt, which is okay. It's not going to hurt. Exhale, reach. Inhale, return. 2 more. Try to keep that leg at hip height, not letting it drop. Hip height. Hopefully I'm doing a good job demonstrating. Okay. And pause. We're going to go back into the front plank. So this time we're going to add the obliques, so some rotation. If your shoulders are square to the floor and your pelvis is facing me, then that's rotation, right? Because your pelvis and shoulders are no longer square to the same object, which in this case would be the floor. So what I'm going to have you do is once again go back into that sort of blast off position. And then you're going to step the back leg forward and then the front leg. So step, step. Now you can step the front leg forward and then the back if that feels better for you. All right. But what's going to happen is the shoulders are going to shift over the wrist as you do the first step. And then when you bring the other step in, you're kind of overloading the wrist and arms and shoulders. All right. Don't forget the other side. Step, 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 step. So I know I call this a plank, but it's not really a plank other than the fact that your shoulders are going over the wrist. So keep alternating the breath. So a slightly more challenging version of this is here. Step, step onto the sides of your feet, toe, toe. You got to go with the front leg first because it ends up needing to be the bottom. So bottom edge of the front leg, and then you can stack. Then the top leg has to move first. Return, return. This is a plank. You end up with your pelvis facing a different direction than your shoulders. So try either version. Step, step, back leg, front leg, back leg, back. Front leg moves first to the back, step. And again, this is the other variation where your knees are bent. Knees are bent. All right, come on out of this. Shake out those wrists. Definitely a plank challenge. Works the shoulders, works your abdominals. All right, so let's get back to the ground for some teasers. All right, so teaser usually have our legs together. I'm going to challenge you to do a little bit of V at the top, a V like this, and then we come back down. All right, let's do the basic teaser though. So this is about counterbalance. Arms, head, shoulder blades. Extend the legs so the weight of your legs allows you to roll your spine up. Find your balance. Inhale, hold, exhale. Extend the legs again to create that counterbalance so that you can roll down smoothly and in control. If you don't straighten your legs first before you roll down, you're just gonna fall down, okay? Let's try it again. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale. If you keep your legs straight, it looks like this. Inhale at the top, exhale, lower back down. I'm just gonna angle my body a little bit so you can sort of see the V of my legs, because you can't really see it when I am parallel to the camera. All right, you can do it even with your knees bent. Inhale, arms, head, neck, shoulders. Here, if your knees are bent, you're just gonna open, squeeze, and then lower back down. Then I'll try the straight leg version. Inhale here, exhale. So during this inhale hold, normally we just hold, but during this inhale, I'm now gonna open. And then as I exhale, I'm gonna squeeze the legs together and roll down. All right. Again, knees can be bent. Inhale, arms, head, shoulders. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I'll do one more with the knees bent. Inhale. Again, looking for a nice flow with your breath. Knees are bent here. Inhale. Exhale. Don't forget to straighten out your legs first. If your knees are bent, you go open, close, straighten, roll down. 2 more. I'm just gonna turn back so I'm on my mat here. So 2 more at your own pace. If you don't like the V, just skip it. That's why I showed you the basic teaser. Just kind of challenges your balance a little bit. There's a little bit of hip opening. And last time here. And it's a V. It's not like, it needs to be a crazy straddle split or anything. All right. Come up to sitting position. A little bit of a stretch here, but also goes into a side plank. So you might notice this, or recognize it as a saw, but we're gonna do sort of a windmill saw here. So if I take my, I think if you mirror me, this is my right arm. It's my left, but it's your right. You're gonna reach it across to the left leg. And then you're gonna windmill by constantly reaching forward, constantly reaching forward. And I'm gonna bypass this. There's my back arm, it's coming to the back, lift. All right, so just press into your legs and lift. Don't worry how high your butt is. Windmill it across. But it's not just, we're not just moving our arms. We're stretching, we're constantly reaching. Like there's something just beyond our toes we're trying to get that back arm back. Lift. So this is an externally rotated hip lift. So you are squeezing your glutes and stabilizing the abs. Reach. Henry, you can tell me later if you hate this or love this. Reach. I think it was the last one. This will be the 4th. Yeah. Good. All right. Nice, nice, nice. That's enough stretching. How much stretching do we need to do? I will do a little bit more, but first we're going to do some abdominal work again. So this is going to be a leg circle with 2 legs. And it's actually not really a circle. It's more like a paperclip shape, like a pill or an oval. So we're going to go down one side, go as low as you like, come up. Not too wide though, because if you go too far, your whole butt's going to fall off. I mean, not fall off. It's going to pull away from the mat. Wouldn't that be funny if your butt fell off then? So alternating direction, clockwise and then counterclockwise in this oval fashion. And then if you want to add sort of what I call the bonus hip lift, as you're coming down, it's an inhale. As you're coming up, you can exhale, hit the center and lift. So come to your center of the oval and then go up. So you're not kind of going sideways. I forgot which direction I just did, but I'm going the other direction. I'm going to hit my 12 o'clock, and I'm going to sort of pause and decelerate the momentum of the curve so I can go up. When you come down, maybe this looks kind of like a teardrop. You make that circle, and you come up. When you hit the 12 o'clock, you want to go center and lift. And try not to let your feet go past your head. So You know, I'm going more up than over. And feel free to keep that hip lift out. So we're just circling 12 o'clock, pause, and then circle the other direction. The challenge here is in the imprint and how low you decide to go, keeping your legs straight. So you go this low, oh, that's really low. You can, but you have to maintain the imprint. Feel free to use your hands. Let's do 4 more at your own pace. Inhale, exhale, inhale, come down, exhale, come up. It's not a lot of momentum now. I mean, you can swing your leg upward very quickly and generate momentum, but we're trying to use our abdominals. All right, pause there if you've done 4. Lower one leg, keep one leg lifted. Circle it across the midline. As big as you like. Again, you can make the single leg circles bigger because you now have one leg on the floor, stabilizing your pelvis. Circle the other direction. Again, as big as you like without disturbing your pelvis, abs engaged. Reverse, inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Basically get those hips, get some range of motion in the hips. Last time here, finish up at 12 o'clock. Take the ankle, cross it over the knee. Take your hands wide. And then let your knee, if it's your, whatever your top leg is, go in the opposite direction of it. So this is my right leg, so I took it to the left. So if you have your right leg on top, you're gonna take both legs to the left. If you have your left leg on top, you're gonna take both legs to the right. Okay, that's a little stretch. Other leg goes up, so now this is my front leg. Or you can put your hands back down to the hips. Circle 4 times total, 2 in each direction. Inhale and exhale. Now this is my left hip, so it makes it a little more clickety-clacks compared to my right. There's always going to be some asymmetry in our bodies. Last one. Okay, so we just did 4. We could probably do more, but just go ahead and do the stretch. If you don't feel the stretch, I forgot to mention on the other side, you can straighten the top leg. I can't straighten the top leg because I'm just going to kick my wall. But it would look like this, because I can straighten it this way. And you can support it like this. It might be a deeper stretch. And I'm sorry, I forgot to mention it on the other side, or the first side, basically. Okay, we just have a few minutes left, so I want to get onto our stomach again. And this time we're going to lift arms and legs at the same time to just kind of get that last little bit of our spine. So as I lift my arms and reach into the front, I'm going to lift both legs. And you can come right back down. Or if you want a little bit more endurance in the spine, you can lift to a narrow X, open to a wider X. So I just take my arms and legs a little bit more to the side, back to that narrow X, and return. So your legs and arms are up in the air a little longer. Okay, so if that feels okay to your spine to work, go for it. Otherwise, it's a lift, inhale to the narrow X, exhale to lower down. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. Or we're going to do the wider X. Inhale, lift, exhale, wider. Inhale, back to narrow, exhale, down. Inhale to the narrow X. Exhale to the wider X. Inhale to the narrow X. That's really difficult to say. Inhale. Just alternate the breath. Exhale. You don't have to do the splits. You don't have to go very wide. It's just some movements with focus on the spine endurance. Do one more here. Oh, all right. I definitely do feel my butt muscles when I take my legs a little wider. Good stretch right here. In fact, if your wrists are okay, you can go into your cat stretch or your rainbow stretch. This looks like a rainbow-ish. Wrists are underneath the shoulders, knees are under the hips, and then you do the opposite, tailbone up, chest up. Head stays aligned with the rest of your spine. Tailbone down, head lowers, tailbone up, head lifts, but not excessively. All right, there's no need to really look at the wall. That's generally a hyperextension of the neck. Eye gaze, maybe 2 feet ahead of your fingers. It's probably quite sufficient when you're in the cow pose. All right. Hopefully you're feeling great. Have a great holiday weekend. Hopefully Pilates is helpful at the end of the week. After, especially if it was a brutal week of working out or something.